I mean, first off,
it goes by fast. There's a lot to talk about. I mean, and one of the
Yeah.
things I've been doing a lot is advocating for other students, because I'll tell you, my kids didn't get help because Rylan also has severe dyslexia, and he's doing a study at, I think, UW right now, and he's been deemed the worst case of dyslexia they've seen.
So we're stacking on top of ADHD, Marfan syndrome, dyslexia,
autism,
severe dyslexia.
Yeah, and autism.
Yeah. And autism. And autism.
And wait, a teenager on there.
And a teenage boy on top of all of that. You're also...
So
we're gonna start a GoFundMe for you to have beach time.
Okay, I need that. But that's, I mean, with the boys, it's just like, I see that our school system is so broken and our students aren't getting the support they need. Just even being diagnosed with dyslexia it's the oldest learning disability on record, and the least diagnosed, because and the least supported. We have the most, like, especially in Washington, I think we were 50th a few years ago for special education. 50th, the bottom. So we were below Kentucky. Okay. So I've been fighting the school district a lot for education. And I think some of the fighting I've done has cost the district quite a bit of money, and the state even. Millions.
That's not your problem.
That's the whole thing is that I think about the millions that I've helped other students get support, that our district alone, our state could build a whole program for dyslexia for the millions that I've taken away from the state to help other students and my student. And Rylan alone has been close to 2 million. And but if that tells you kind of where we're at, we're talking
that's
about
crazy.
We're
that's a big number. I mean,
it is.
I mean, we're not government, so we don't think in those kind of numbers very much. Yeah. Where's that money? How's that money being spent to help children with dyslexia?
So for Rylan, he went, when he was in 5th grade, he was reading below kindergarten level. And so they sent him to Linda Mood Bell. Linda Mood Bell is a private tutoring, $86,000 for a year.
Wow.
And we went for almost 2 years. So
and when you consider that amount of money, just so you understand, folks, what would you do for your kids? I mean, how would you advocate for them for these kind of things?
Yeah.
Because $86,000 for one student to get
1 year. And that's just that's just the education. That's not including the transportation. The transportation was another 20. So
another 20,000.
We're not, because they're private driver that takes them.
So 6 figures.
Yep, 6 figures for 1 year of education. And he had Linda Mood Bell services, and that's one of the top tiered programs for dyslexia for 18 months. And then we started going to another private school, and it's almost $70,000 a year plus the school the additional supports that I've had to put in there for him. And of course, transportation. And so, and then all the other, we had Linda Mood Bell for almost 2 years. And then we've had a couple supplements from Linda Mood Bell as well. So it's been quite a bit of money just for Rylan. And he is, he's made huge successes. He's doing a lot better. I mean, he's still reading at 3rd grade level as going on his 10th grade, but he's decoding words at 9th grade level. And he used to never read his work before he started doing it. And now he's reading his work. He's reading it, and he's not waiting for someone to read it to him.
That's so cool.
There's a lot of things he's doing to make success. And the teacher that he's working with she's amazing. She's been doing this program, I think, through UW, and it's a boring program. And Rylan tells me all the time it's boring, but Rylan works so hard. He's the hardest working student I've ever had. And he does it. He doesn't, she goes, I'm not going to say he doesn't complain, but he still does it every single time. He puts he makes sure that he gets that stuff, his work done, so that he can have success. Yeah. And it's been really a struggle for him. And they haven't, the state, only has, so when you have a special education student, they have about over 30,000. It's called a safety net. So they go to the safety net fund that they have at the state, and that first 30,000 is what the school district gets from the state, like through how they distribute money for each student. And so the district isn't getting that money. It goes, because all that money is now going to this other programs that he's in. So, and the district hates,
and they don't like that.
Also,
they don't like that.
They don't like it, Well, and they really hate it when they see me in the meeting, like, hey, oh crap, Stephanie's coming to this meeting. Oh no. Because in this year alone, I've sent 5 from the school district we're in, I've sent over 5 students to outside placement. And last year I've sent a few. And so we've spent a lot. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for kids. And it's just, again, and most of these kids have dyslexia, or they are on the spectrum with not enough supports through the district. And that's just where we're at. And it's unfortunate. So, yeah.
So I mean, you started out, I mean, did you have any guide on advocating for your kids?
No.
How did you learn? What were your first confused, scared steps that you did?
So I actually called an attorney and asked how much would it cost to hire you, and he said this number that was
whoa,
it was way over here, and I was like, my budget's like way down here, you know, somewhere where I couldn't reach how tall it was. And I was like, oh my gosh. And he said, well, I want you to look up the terms free and appropriate public education. That's a federal law. Look that up, start there, and see where you go.
Yeah, he recognized, okay, he gave you a little bit of free advice.
Yep.
That was good.
Yep. And he said, start there, put an email together saying, my kid doesn't have access to his free and appropriate public education, and they will jump. And oh my gosh, they did. And so then it was like, okay, where do I read? So I was online reading. And so, you know, I have dyslexia as well. And so it takes me a little bit to read those things, but I read everything I could. And I have put I've put every effort I could into writing and reading and doing things. And so now it's like, I mean, I've actually had the district, our district that we're in, call me and ask me to help advocate for a foster student. And that says something, because if the district's calling me and saying, hey, you should advocate for a foster student, I know. That means that they know I'm going to do the right thing, because I have the history.
They're paying attention. They're paying attention. They're taking notice. But I think it's funny. Yeah, I'm challenged with the public school system, because I see a lot of the failings that happen in there. It's very cookie cutter, and if
you don't fit in this little round square or little round peg that we have, and you're a square or you're a triangle or you're whatever shape, if you don't fit in this, you won't be educated in our school system today.
Right. Yeah.
And that's unfortunate, because there's a lot of kids. I mean, I'm so glad that I am not round. I am glad I'm a different shape than what they say, because
I am round, but that's another thing.
Well, but you have to be this certain shape that they're expecting. And then unfortunately, not everybody is that shape. And not every, I mean, there's a very rare few amount that are. People can fit into it because they're smaller shape.
I've seen, some of the things I've looked at. It's like they formed it for the the demure girl.
Yes,
it's kind of what it is. The school system is designed for the submissive girl who will do what she's told, loves to do the writing assignments all the time, and that's the way it's designed. And first off, I never had any girl children to raise. Yeah, neither did you. And I'm pretty sure that if you would have gone back, and if they would have had the diagnosis methods when I was growing up, I would have come up with at least ADD. So
I can see that.
I mean, you know me. I'm a little bit of it's totally there.
There's a study that's out there, and it talks about how girls learn and how boys learn. And one of the things is, if you can send the boys out to the playground for 30 minutes and have them run straight, play hard for 30 minutes, bring them back in the classroom and teach them what you were teaching the girls for that 30 minutes, and they will learn it in 15.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's that horrible phrase, "boys will be boys" concept. It's just.
I mean, people learn different, and it's not about, and it's even still, it's not even about the boys or girls. I mean, there are plenty of girls that learn that same way. Yeah, but if you at all say that in this current environment, it's people get offended. So
they do, and that's I mean, and like I said. We're this is really I've really had fun with this. 36 minutes, and there's only about 2 minutes at the very beginning I'm going to cut out because we hadn't actually started talking yet. That's kind of how I feel about this. No, because this is it's kind of eye opening too. But even though I have my problems with the public school system, I never dreamed that it could be this challenging.